Holy cow, Saw 2 was so brutal. I gotta watch some Drake and Josh now just to, wash all that gore and intensity down. What is going on, non existent viewers? Is TVB, and this is day 2 of the 31 Days of Horror Challenge. Last night I saw Saw, and I watched Saw on Hulu. As far as I'm concerned, most of the, at least all of, if not most of the Saw movies are on Hulu for any of my fellow Hulu users. And Saw X is already out, so I figured, well, might as well watch at least the first 2 Saw movies. 'Cause I hadn't seen any of the Saw films prior to, this Spooktober. I'm very uncultured in my horror classics, but I'll give better explanation as to why I decided to take this challenge on, more tomorrow before I go to the theater, when I go to see Saw X. But anyways, let's talk about Saw 2. Hot take, I know this film didn't do nearly as well with the critics as the first Saw did. I mean, neither were really adored by the critics. The first one is a 50% Rotten Tomatoes, and this one has a 37% rating, if I remember correctly. Yeah, unpopular opinion, I like Saw 2 more than Saw 1 because they actually had the budget for a bigger scale Saw film this time. I like that there were, more victims, and, it's not just, set in a bathroom. The whole movie takes place in a big house and has more locations, and there's more at stake because there's a kid involved, and Amanda was, in my opinion, the best character in the entire movie. I felt so bad from the beginning when she's thrown into the situation all over again after surviving the first film. And in the second film, she's that dude, the crazy guy with the muscles, throws her into the pit of needles, and she's, a recovered heroin addict. She's sober now, but now she's she's not a junkie anymore. We're still getting pinpricked with needles. I'm just oh, that scene was so uncomfortable. This movie made me even more uncomfortable than the first film did. And I just love the scene where the kid uses the saw to cut the big guy's throat open. Oh yeah, I should have said spoiler warning. This video will contain spoilers. I'm gonna try to keep these 31 Days of Horror reviews slightly more straight to the point though than I usually would. But Amanda being Jigsaw's apprentice at the end of the movie was just a stroke of genius in my opinion, because Jigsaw, you're already under the impression that he's not as invincible in this film as he is in the first film. You finally see more of his face, and he's an old man struggling with cancer, and the cop who's is a kid's dad in this movie that has to rescue his son and their victims is beating him up and stuff. And obviously Jigsaw doesn't have much time left, but then you see the dad basically almost suffering the same fate that Adam did in the first movie, and Amanda carrying on his legacy. Amanda was already a force to be reckoned with in the first film because she cut someone's guts open to get the key out of his stomach, which is, that scene was very brutal. But there's even more uncomfortable traps and just gross out moments, the scene where the girl shoves her wrists into the knife gloves or the saw gloves, and she's cutting herself and can't use her hands anymore. Oh my gosh. This movie definitely made me cringe out of just anxiety more than the first film did. But yeah, I gotta say, I think Saw 2 is better than the first Saw, and I'm giving it a 7 out of 9 stars. It is likable enough to consider buying on DVD. Alright, woo, that was my splurge ramble on Saw 2. Thank you for watching this Spooktober review. If you guys want to see more of these, don't forget to hit the like button, and I got 2 down, 29 more to go. Let's do this, baby. Thank you so much for watching, and yeah, stay beastly.